legs are broken, my knees need replacing. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. I am Jane Perkins. Our service leader this morning is Laurie Whittemore. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco and Biddeford. We also want to welcome those joining us on YouTube and encourage you to have a chalice or a candle to light when we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you are here with us today. The theme for the month of November is repair. We invite you to carry that theme with you as you are with us today and into your daily life when you leave here tomorrow. I talked more yesterday at the fair than I do in a month's time, so the voice isn't too wonderful. We commit to be co-stewards of this land and to work toward a world that is just, thriving for the whole of the web of life. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you leave the sanctuary. Please silence your cell phones. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service. Please join us. We have three announcements, actually. We will begin with the one which many people are chomping at the bit to hear. If Wendy, our treasurer, would like to come up and give us some news. It's all good. Yeah, you can hardly get up the stairs.
Hi, everyone. We had a wonderful holiday fair yesterday. As they say, it takes a village, and it did take a village. All the hard work from all of our members and friends, and we have raised over $4,000 so far. And we still have some Sunday sales, but we're still selling tickets for the money wreath and the items that are on the two tables in the parish hall. So when I get a final total, I will let everyone know. But thank you to everybody who helped in any way.
And many thanks to Wendy for being our head honcho, cracking the whip in her usual gentle, kind way. And I have an ask from Buildings and Grounds. After Granny's Attic, which was a great success here in the sanctuary yesterday, we have the narthex, which is the front room, filled with what is trash. Frequently, what happens is that people on Buildings and Grounds spend the week following the fair, loading their cars with the trash, going to the transfer station, coming back the next day, loading their cars with the trash, going to the, etc. You get it. What I am asking is anyone who is able, I will be standing at the right-hand door. If you come by, grab, this is just a regular, tall, trash bag, like a kitchen trash. I'm not giving you the big ones. If you could go, just fill it up, whatever will fit in your own trash barrel at home. Take it home with you, put it in your own trash so that we don't have to deal with it. That would be lovely. We would be most grateful.
Good morning. I think I speak for most people here. We're a little discombobulated this morning after the fair yesterday, so just go with it. I'm so glad you're here today as we explore the complex and timely topic of truth. In a world where facts seem increasingly fluid, where our news feeds serve up tailored realities, it's important, more important than ever, to grapple with what truth really is, what it means to us as individuals, as a community, and as people of faith. So let's begin with a quote from Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, who reminds us that truth is not a possession. It's an ongoing discovery. May we approach the discovery with open minds, courageous hearts, and a commitment to the inherent worth and dignity of each person whose unique experiences and truths enrich our community. And let's take a moment in silence right now to center ourselves for this exploration together today, to breathe in the curiosity and respect that will guide us this morning. So let's take a deep breath together. And join me in the words for lighting our chalice. This is our sacred promise, to gather together in peace, to seek truth in love, to serve human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. And stand as you're able and join me in singing hymn number 349. Now's the time in the service where we turn and greet our neighbors. He's home. Yep. Mexico.
This is the time in our service when we invite you to come forward and share with us your joys and your... Thought it was on and it was loud. Is it still on? Yes. Trevor's fiddling with the controls over there. That's what it is. Anyhow, joys and sorrows, the things that have brought us gladness and the things that have perhaps caused a tear or at least a tremor in our hearts. Light a candle, tell us who you are, and share as you choose to do or not.
Good morning. I'm Ellie. I have 3 candles this morning. First of all, when I walked in this morning, the phone was ringing, and I decided to pick it up. And the woman on the other end, her name is Teresa Anderson. I do not remember her, but some of you may. Apparently, she came here for a short while. And she asks specifically for somebody, and I shared that information with them. But she also shared with me that her son passed away at age 44 just a few years ago, and asked me to light a candle in his memory. His name was Petey. I think I said her name, Teresa Anderson. His nickname was Petey, so I lit a candle for him this morning. And then I lit a candle for my husband, Ben, who has double vision again from myasthenia gravis, and his meds are slowly kicking in, but he's really, it's hard for him. So a prayer for him would be most appreciated, that he can see clearly. And the third candle is for my grandson-to-be, Maxwell, who is 2 weeks due in 2 weeks, and his brother was born 3 weeks early, so his mother is ready for Maxwell to be born. So if you could just send out some energy to the universe and let Max know it's okay, he can come anytime. Thank you.
My name is Janine, and I'm lighting a candle today for my brother-in-law and sister-in-law who lost their dear friend who was murdered, and horribly murdered, and they are in deep sorrow.
Good morning. I'm Matt Gherkin. I have lots of mixed emotions. This week is Thanksgiving week, and for our family, it makes it a mixed blessing. We have so much to be thankful for in our own lives, and our youngest daughter and our grandson, Carson, who we just talk about all the time, ad nauseum, I think, and for others. But we also kind of mourn the loss of our estranged daughter and grandsons who we hear nothing from and never see. So it's a mixed bag. But I also was thinking about Ben. Ben and I share notes every now and then because I also have myasthenia gravis, and so we kind of share. His symptoms are all eye related, and mine it's general. I started with eye problems and double vision as he did, but I was able to eradicate that with medication right away. And I was on prednisone originally, and then I did have one flare-up a few years ago where I was back on prednisone for a short time. But otherwise, I've been maintained with non-steroidal, which has been a blessing for me. But I have other symptoms, and I feel for him because the double vision is not fun to deal with. And I also just, I'm so thankful for yesterday. The fair was awesome. I was there for the whole time, except for all the worst cleanup because I had to leave. But it was a joy to be there and see the steady flow of people. And I figured, I guess, with the profits, they must have been spending money. So that's great.
Thanks.
Hello, my name is David, and Janine's husband. It's not that I forgot, I just got reminded. It's Janine's birthday tomorrow, she'll be 72.
Something we do each Sunday is to light a last candle to represent the people whose joys and sorrows remain unspoken. We ask that you carry what you've heard here today with you as you go forward into the week. Thank you.
Let's take a breath and pray together. Source of all creation, as we have gathered here together to form a sacred circle of care for one another, of joy for celebration, we heard the struggles, the losses, the sadness, and we heard thanksgiving. We hold it here together so that our problems may be light and our joys may be multiplied. So be it.
This morning's reading is Truth and Reconciliation by Rana Bloom. This man knows something about healing, that the heart must be torn open again in front of compassionate witnesses, that the accused must also step up and reveal themselves, that no matter how high-pitched the shrieks, how barren the voice, everything must be held in the same room.
Oh. And stand as you're able and join me in singing hymn number 189. So this is going to be a test of how many people read the Friday flyer because I gave you guys homework today. And the homework was, I see somebody doing this, I need as many of you to answer for me, why did the chicken cross the road? Who's got an answer? Because I need at least 3. Or it doesn't have to be what I put in the flyer, but to get across the road. What else? See, best friend. Crossing the road. Ah. Gets a rush from running across the road. Ah, a breakfast joint on the, excellent. That's a good reason to cross the road. Friends are on the other side. Buying greener pastures. That's a very good reason because he wanted to. So there are lots of reasons why chickens cross roads. And there are probably many reasons why each one chicken chooses to cross the road, not just everybody. So I want to plant a word with you today, and that word is complicated. The answer to these questions are not always simple. The chicken might just cross the road because he wants to get to the other side, but it might be more complicated than that. And that's okay. There are multiple truths in answer to the question, to this one question, as you just heard. And not one of these answers captures the whole truth, or every chicken's truth for that matter. The fact may be that the chicken crossed the road. That's the fact. The chicken crossed the road. But the truth about why can be so many things, because truth is not one thing. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about truth. It's sort of in 2 ways. But the first way is to talk about Thanksgiving, because it's Thanksgiving week. And it being the Sunday before Thanksgiving, it's also that thin veil of time between Samhain and solstice, when it's darker and colder and I think more thoughtful. I think this is a thoughtful time for people. So when we consider our theme for the month, this month is repair. How do we hold space thoughtfully for multiple truths? How can we use our principles to remain present to the fact that not everybody thinks the same or thinks like us? And that's the question that faces us right now in this liminal time. Thanksgiving is full of multiple truths. For First Nations people of our country, it's not a celebration. It's a ghost of terrible atrocities. For European settlers, it is a mythical celebration of bounty and kinship. And there is cultural warfare about these, especially right now. I just saw something on Facebook it was a picture of Christopher Columbus sailing across the sea with the comments that we're taking back Columbus Day for what it really means. And I see those more and more now, and it really makes me sad that's sort of the way we're swinging right now. But that points to the cultural wars we find ourselves in right now. And on a personal level, in terms of Thanksgiving, for many of us, it's a time for family. And sometimes that's joyful, and a lot of times it's not necessarily. But it's also a time of loneliness, maybe hunger. Some of us love a feast of turkey and fixing. Some of us hate it. And all of these truths sit with us here right now in this building, in this sanctuary. And being aware of our truth and that others have different truths, being aware that our truth just prepares us while we sit with others to recognize that there isn't just one truth. And welcoming these different experiences of the holiday is important. And that's our reality right now. We have had a challenging election season, and some might consider an unbelievable outcome based on character. We are now witnessing incredulous appointments that defy common sense, and some even human decency. And these are facts. but I'm going to steer clear of any more political coverage. I do want to say something about where we're at, though. I feel like perhaps one of the largest reasons we are where we are right now is because people are not heard or listened to or accepted in what they feel, in their truth. People have truths that are different than ours. And while we have been told that the economic factors and, in fact, the economy itself has been positive and grown, that doesn't translate to gas and groceries for us and for a lot of people. So we can hear these lofty ideals, but they don't necessarily translate. And for people who have lost jobs to manufacturing overseas, people who live in the middle U.S., who have a very different experience than people on the East Coast, people whose reality is not tied to a 401k growth, the economy being positive doesn't make any sense. And I believe that politicians and pundits stopped listening to those voices. They don't even know. They don't even listen. And because of that, I think that's why we're in this really tough place right now. And it can be the case when someone is fighting for crumbs, they're easily pitted against somebody else who's fighting for crumbs. I always use the example because I've witnessed it. It's easy to pit a citizen homeless person in Portland against a non-citizen homeless person, even though they're in different shelters. They don't know what's going on for each other, but they see when one person gets something, they think it means that they're not getting something. And the reality is, there's enough for everybody, but we're not getting it to the people who need it. So these perspectives about fighting for crumbs with one another, they all contain truth. And the complexity of the situations require and need us to all live in tension with those, right? We have to live in that tension. We have to live in those gray areas because it's complicated. That's the word for the day. It's complicated. Our faith as Unitarian Universalists gives us the tools to do that. Theologically, we've never been, you're going to believe this and you're going to say this and this is our creed. We've never been that. So we have kind of the paradigm to live in these complicated situations. We organize around principles, not creeds, no matter what you believe is God. If you believe there is God, we aren't centered around that. You believe what you want as long as you remain in right relationship in these four walls. Because we honor the fact that we believe different things and we're helping each other explore together. That's what we believe. Our identity is infused with gray area. We explore our beliefs together, led by our hearts. We are not told what to think, and I certainly don't stand up here and tell you what to think, ever. And so we are poised to live in this time when there are multiple truths, and truths that differ very differently from perhaps our truths. But we are called through our principles to live in love and respect and honor even those who think differently than us. And because our faith has us practice what it is like to be in gray areas, we have that framework without demonizing others. That's the challenge right now, without demonizing. So we have a roadmap for not demonizing those who would demonize us, and they will. And the world needs us right now. The world needs us because it's complicated. I believe the ability for repair, which is our theme, and reconciliation, which is also our theme for today, in our society requires that we accept and hold multiple truths. So thinking about Thanksgiving, it's complex and painful for many Native American communities. While it's often portrayed as a time of unity and gratitude, it also perpetrates harmful myths and erases the violent history of colonization and genocide against indigenous peoples. Native Americans have diverse perspectives on Thanksgiving, and most are not good, and I don't think I even have to tell you that. I think that's true. Some communities hold alternative celebrations, so-called. It's a national day of mourning for many people, to honor their ancestors and raise awareness about ongoing struggles for indigenous rights and sovereignty. I referenced truth and reconciliation in the title, and I wanted to just touch on the official meaning of that. It's a paradigm or process that was conceived on after apartheid to create space for those who were oppressed to share their truth. And that reading today, I love that reading today. Truth is transformed when somebody can share their truth and it can be held and listened to, and not just those who are oppressed, but those who are the oppressors as well. Because the truth has to work itself through. Having our own truth witnessed and acknowledged can be a very healing process. In terms of Native Americans, the real history of Thanksgiving, this means acknowledging the historical and ongoing traumas inflicted upon the communities, such as forced relocation, cultural suppression, intergenerational trauma, disproportionate violence against women, all of these things. Even if we personally didn't cause the harm, or the harm was done a long time ago, the wounds still need witnessing. And those who were oppressed get to dictate the timetable for the telling. Those who were oppressed, those who were harmed, that's our theology, liberation theology. Those who were harmed get to tell until the telling is not needed anymore. Not when it's comfortable for us to stop hearing. Reconciliation begins after the truth is shared and acknowledged, and harm led the way to mapping a way forward. In terms of Native Americans and the concept of Thanksgiving, it is about them taking the lead on what comes next. Maybe it is a national day of mourning, maybe not for everybody, but it's us recognizing it. It also involves supporting Indigenous-led initiatives for self-determination, land restitution, cultural revitalization. And as non-natives, we have a responsibility to educate ourselves about the histories and experience of Indigenous peoples whose lands we still occupy. We can also amplify Native voices. In fact, that's the preferred way. Let other people speak for themselves and support them in doing that. Even if there's a cultural pushback, which there is now, or warfare against hearing and acknowledging uncomfortable truths, we are the very people who can live in tension. We have the principles to guide us through. If you need a reminder, or you're a first-time visitor, take out our hymnal, and in the first couple of pages, our principles are there. That's what guides us. That's what guides us. Those are our principles and our sources of wisdom. So let's work towards a future where Thanksgiving can be a time of genuine gratitude and solidarity, rooted in truth and respect and the principles of justice and reconciliation. I think we can all find things to be thankful for. Almost everyone, in spite of their circumstances or because of their circumstances, can find some reason to give thanks. We don't do it enough. I don't do it enough, I think. And so having a day to pause for that reason, that feels good to me. Even if the origin for pausing may be misguided, even when our truths are different and sometimes even in conflict with one another here and in the larger society as a whole, there are always points of connection. And connection always happens in relationship. So in sum, we can't shy away from difficult facts or truths of the season, as we have an important part to play in this. Things may look murky right now for a lot of reasons, but we have the tools to navigate. In fact, we can be the beacons at this time because we know how to do multiple truth. We know how to do complicated, and we must stand and make space for those whose truths still need to be told and still need to be heard, so that the healing of our country and the many ways that it is sorely needed right now can begin. And I'll close by saying I still have no idea why the chicken crossed the road, and maybe that can be the topic for coffee hour. So thank you. When we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts and spirits, our time and energy, our talents and skills to support the work of this church and other work going on in the larger community. We also bring the gift of generosity, giving what we have so that the work of this church may continue. We always split our offering each month, and this month we're going to share it with the Saco Food Pantry. If you're watching from home, I don't think we can give online yet, can we? No. Okay, there's a link in the YouTube description that you can hit the button, or you can send a check to uuchurchsacobiddeford.com and mail it to 60 School Street, Saco, Maine 04072. This morning's offering will now be received. And join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. As we release this flame from its faithful service today, we allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our passion, to fire our delight, to light our paths, today, tomorrow, and always. And I'm throwing a wrench in it. We're not actually singing hymn 297, we're singing hymn 108, and the words will be up there. If we have any hope of transforming the world and changing ourselves, we must be bold enough to accept that our truth is not the only truth, strong enough to live in the gray areas, and we must be brave enough to be clumsy there and get it wrong, open enough to remain in relationship over being righteous. May we, as a people of faith, be granted the strength to be bold, the strength to be brave, and the strength to always be loving. And so be it. Our service is now concluded. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you all have a very happy Thanksgiving. Couple of reminders. We'll have some kinship in the parish hall. There are still more things to purchase. And also, don't forget to take your trash.